Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I'm here to talk about a show that I actually first watched on Netflix a few years back called Yuki, Yuna is a Hero. So it looks pretty kiddie and it looks very magical girly, and then it bams you right with the Madoka Magica feels. So yeah, basically Yuki, Yuna is a Hero is set in like fictional version of Japan where they're based on an island, and they're the last remnants of humanity, and they're constantly being attacked by the vortexes, who are like deities or gods from outside their god's barrier that keep breaking in and trying to kill humanity. So you have Yuki Yuna, you've got Mimori Togo, you've got Fu and Itsuki Inobazaki, I can't pronounce the last name very well, who are all part of the middle school hero club, and the premise of the club is just to go around and helping people, but the real intention of the club is actually that they're all hero applicants and they've got high aptitudes to become heroes, and if they get the call from the Taisha or the Shinju Sama, then they're to like magical girl up with their smartphone app and then fight the bad guys and drive them off and save the day. So that's the story, and it is very cute girls doing cute things at points, but it does have quite a dark undertone to it. So what we don't realise at the beginning is that there's a price to pay for using the powers too much, and as you use the power more and more, like the flower symbol that they've got on their costumes slowly powers up, and then once it's reached the full power they go into a mankai state, not to be confused with bankai. Bleach. And there's a cost of that, because they use such a great amount of energy that something is taken in return. And as you go through the storyline, you start to find out more about the characters, and that really they're just human sacrifices who are like offered up to the gods, and then their families get compensation in return because of the stress and everything that goes on with the children. And it's to give the children, because all the girls are in middle school, so there's, I think the oldest one is Fu and she's like 14. Then you've got Mimori and Yuna who are about 13. So yeah, Fu's 14 turning 15. You've got Mimori and Yuna who are like 13 turning 14, and then you've got Itsuki who's like 12 turning 13. She's the youngest. And then you also have later on in the series Karen comes in, and she's the same age as Yuna and Mimori. But yeah, they're all like applicants, and when they first learn that they're supposed to fight the vertexes, Fu is like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry I lied to you. Itsuki's like, I'll back you up, Fu. And then Yuna's like, I will be a hero, kind of thing, hence the title. But Mimori is very, I can't fight, because she's in a wheelchair from a car accident, what you're led to believe is a car accident prior to the events of the story. She's got memory loss and she can't use her legs due to trauma. That is then later expanded on in the end of the story. So it's 12 episodes long. It's very, like, it looks very cutesy anime style, but it's actually quite gritty, and it's really interesting actually to see each of the girls' reactions to learning the full story of what's going to happen to them as it goes along. Because in the beginning you're like, oh, cute girls fighting the villain of the week, saving the day, and so on and so forth. But I mean, anybody who's seen Madoka Magica would tell you no, that's not cute girls do cute things. And it's the same with Yuki Yuna. It is very cutesy in the style, but the story is definitely not cutesy at all. You know, there's sacrifice in the sense of, you know, knowing that if you keep fighting, you're most likely going to do irrevocable damage to your body. You know, they have to come to terms with the fact that they could die. You know, there's the social aspect of it as well, of they kind of like feel like they were lied to by Fu, and that those kind of relationships break down a bit as well. you know, so like Yuna's actually got like the most cheery personality out of it, and she's always trying to, you know, look on the bright side. And then you've got Mimori, who is very, she's more sinister, and she sees the world through not even sinister, she's more pessimistic, that's the word, and has a more bleak view on the world. The more she learns, the more she kind of becomes very broken, you know. It's like the new information keeps breaking her in ways, and then she's like, she decides to rebel against the system towards the end, and then so does Fu, to be honest. Fu breaks after she learns that they were basically sacrifices, and especially after something that happens with Itsuki, which I won't spoil because it's really fun. It's not fun, but it's like really sweet to watch, because Fu realizes she was lied to, and that she brought her little sister into this, and everything that's happened in Fu's mind is her own fault. So she kind of is like, I'm going to go and beat the Taisha. And then Karen stops her, and so does Yuki, Yuna, sorry. Yuki. I can talk. And then the events for the final episodes happen, and Minori kind of snaps and sets things in motion, and then they all have to kind of go against each other, and they have to try and save the day. And it's kind of a bittersweet ending, because, you know, the more you fight, the more you lose. But no, I won't spoil anything else other than that, because it's really good. And I think a lot of people get put off of it because it does look very chibi and very cutesy moe style, and it really isn't. It's just, I think the reason why the characters look so cutesy and moe is because then the dark things that happen to them have even more impact on you as you're watching it, because you're like, oh my god, these cute innocent beings, why are they doing this to these cute innocent beings? So yeah, I highly recommend. There is a second season which is technically a prequel called Washio Sumi is a Hero. Would recommend that, but don't watch that first. So watch Yuki Yuna as a Hero and then watch Washio Sumi as a Hero, because even though it's a prequel, it will spoil events from Yuki Yuna if you watch it first. But definitely do watch it. There's a second season apparently of Yuki Yuna somewhere available, but I've never found it. And it never came to Netflix, and it wasn't dubbed as far as I'm aware. So I'm going to have to scour the internet and try and get my hands on it, because it came out back in like 2017. So Yuki Yuna came out in like 2016. Then the Washio one came out in like 2017 and 18. And then there's apparently a second season that happened in like 2018 to 19, but I've never found it. And then they've made more, which is based off of like the video game that you can get on your mobile phone. Not that I have that, so I'm going to have to go and have a look for that game actually and see if I can play it. But yeah, there's plenty of content out if you can find it. If you just watched the first season, that's also fine. It is contained in and of itself. You get your answers, you get your whole story, and then your characters get their ending, and on you go. And then, like I said, Washio is a prequel, so you find out more about one of the characters leading into Yuna, and you also get to see more of the hero system and how it's been developed and improved upon with each set of girls that happen to get chosen, which is quite interesting as well, to see how the system works and how the world gets built and how it's all revolving around, and you know, it basically all revolves around preteens. So again, like Madoka Magica, preteens seem to have the most energy, and I suppose, yeah, just before puberty, if you think about it, or just as puberty is hitting, you're still energetic, you haven't been hit with, you know, the hormones for like sleeping till noon, so you would probably be at your best physically pre-puberty or just on the cusp of puberty. So I can understand why a lot of these kind of shows are like, preteen girls are the most powerful in the universe for this kind of thing, and I think it's just because you've got the most energy at that point in your life. I mean, I never did, but that's because I wasn't your average typical preteen. I was, you know, I'm immunocompromised, so, and I have been since I was like 3. So that made fun childhood for me, constantly being sick. And it was something that I really enjoyed actually about watching Yuki Yuna, was they are young girls. They react to the way young girls would in these situations. Some of them would be like, oh, I'll just take it on the chin and I'll keep going and this is just how it is. Others would rebel against it and be like, no, I refuse, I'm going to fight this. And then their interactions with each other as well are really cool, and their friendships and the way they develop and stuff. So I would definitely recommend giving it a go. Don't be put off by the fact that it looks super cutesy. It is a really good story, really good show. I cried, I'm going to admit that full off the bat, I cried at it. It did give me heckin' Madoka Magica vibes, just with the storytelling and like the events that they put their characters through to try and break them or to see how they'll respond. It's so good. So yeah, it's on Netflix, and then I think the second season is only available online through other means. Actually might be available on DVD, like for import, or they might have released it on DVD with subtitles. I'm not fully sure. I'd have to go and look into that more. But no, if you can get hold of it or you can watch it, do recommend it highly. It's a really good show. I love it, and that's hence why I made a video on it. But other than that, my kittens, I'm going to give you all of my love. I'm going to remind you to eat something, drink something, and no forgetting any medications if you are on them. And I will see you in the next videos, my lovelies. Au revoir!